We have been getting a load of information lately for Black Ops 7 Zombies, so in this video I thought I would compile it all so you're up to date. The first thing I want to talk about is regarding Astra Map, which is going to be the DLC 1 map for Black Ops 7 Zombies releasing with Season 1. Absolutely crazy that it's been revealed so early, and so far we've only gotten one image of the map, showing a telescope next to a Tesla coil in what looks to be the planetarium. Now most likely this is the rumoured space station map, as Treyarch did describe it as being out of this world, and they also hinted at the Ascension rocket launching in Ashes of the Damned, potentially how we get there. But there's been a lot of back and forth discussion regarding whether this is the other rumoured New York map or not, because there is a planetarium in New York that is similar, but pretty much all planetariums are similar. But according to the leaker The Ghost of Hope, Treyarch might be walking back and no longer doing the Nazi New York map. So if you're unaware, the description for the concept was that it was apparently going to be set after the Nazis won World War II when they dropped a bomb on New York and took over the city, which is probably tying into Richthofen's backstory because we know he is apparently a hero of the Reich. But according to the Ghost of Hope, Treyarch was scared of the Nazi imagery such as the swastikas, and they have opted to not do the map. But I'm confused why this would be an issue, because when we got Zombies Chronicles, for example, or even the Eisendrache or the Giant, Treyarch just replaced all of the swastikas with the Iron Cross as they were in the original maps. So surely if they were going to be doing a Nazi New York map, they could have just done the same like they've done with these past maps. And to be honest, I don't even understand why they were originally not showing the swastikas. If we load up Keynote as Totem, for example, I think there is so much fear factor for having that symbol there. It's a symbol of hate for a reason. It's associated with hate. When Zombies was trying to be scary, what is more scary than fascism? And when they've replaced it with the Iron Cross or other different adjacent imagery, it just doesn't hit the same because more people recognize the swastika and it's just a lot scarier of a symbol. It's basically become synonymous with hate. It is the symbol of hatred regardless of wherever it derived from. And Treyarch originally swapped it out because back in the day there were laws in Germany that prohibited it being shown, so they had to do a different version of the game for Germany. So I guess come Black Ops 3 they just opted to stop using the swastika. By Black Ops 3 and with Black Ops 2 they were moving away from the Nazi zombies origins that was in World at War, probably due to it being controversial. However, these laws are no longer present in Germany, so I don't know why this is still persisting. Other games, for example Wolfenstein, which is similarly an alternative Nazi overrun world, uses the symbol, but why doesn't Call of Duty Zombies? They're still discussing Nazis, it's still a part of the storyline, albeit it's not as at the forefront as it was back in the day when it was literally called Nazi Zombies, so I don't really get this at all, to be honest. Now, the Ghost of Hope is saying that the space station map could have been merged with the New York map, so instead there's going to be an area in space and then there's going to be an area on Earth, similar to Moon, in this case the planetarium. However, I'm not sure if that's entirely true. I mean, this planetarium could be really anywhere in the world. It probably is tied to Group 935, the same one from the alternative Richthofen dimension, so it very well could be in New York, but to be honest, I don't think it matters, even if that is the case. But if the Nazi New York map is not going to be releasing, what map are we going to be getting in its place? And what does this mean about the other rumoured maps? Because you have to bear in mind, the rumoured maps were just concepts. They were not stuff that even went into development necessarily. So who knows what has been cut, what has been interchanged. We obviously have to take all leaks and rumours with a grain of salt, so we're just going to have to wait and see until we learn more information about the map after launch, of course, whether this is the space station map or the New York map or it's been merged into one map. But this is all of the information we have right now. I think it certainly is the space station map, and I think if the planetarium is in New York or not, it doesn't really make a difference to the map itself. It's definitely going to be a Group 935 base, regardless of where in the world it specifically is. The next topic I want to talk about is regarding a potential early release date for Black Ops 7. So there's been loads of rumours back and forth about whether there is going to be an early release date, and to be honest, I don't believe it at all. And even when there were rumours, Treyarch kept reaffirming on Twitter and other social medias the release date. But then PlayStation Gamesize posted this the other day, saying that the preload for Black Ops 7 goes live November 9th, 10 AM Pacific time, but the release time is going to be different for the different modes, with Campaign and Zombies apparently being early November 10th, 10 AM Pacific time, multiplayer November 17th, 10 AM Pacific time. But surely this is a mistake, because why would they be releasing multiplayer literally a few days after the global release, which is apparently the 14th of November, and they wouldn't be releasing Campaign and Zombies early without announcing it, because they would have announced it to try and boost pre-orders. I don't see any benefit for them releasing these modes early when it wasn't announced this entire time, and Treyarch are probably crunching hard right up to the very second it releases, considering the fact they've been making Black Ops 6 and 7 back to back. So they don't have time for messing around. That's why it's a bit later of a release date than we've usually been getting. So I do think that this is some kind of mistake. People are seeing the countdown for the game showing up as being in 8 days, but that is most likely just for the preload. Again, the expected download date is appearing as November 6th in some places, but this again is just the preload. I'm sure we are not going to be able to play until the 14th of November, the 13th if you're in New Zealand. So yeah, will the game release early, or will multiplayer, or will zombies, or the campaign release early? I don't think so. People have been saying, well, we need campaign early access, but they cancelled it after Modern Warfare 3's campaign got really bad reviews. And to be honest, I think Black Ops 7's campaign is going to be really bad because they've literally not even shown us the campaign preview mission, and they've been very quiet in terms of marketing it. So I think they know it's going to flop, and that's why they're showing so little to keep it so vague. Probably the fact it's an open world co-op campaign is not going to gel well with many people. Endgame's going to be really where most players are going to be at. So I don't think they're going to do an early access because it would result in the exact same as what happened with Modern Warfare 3, where they get bombarded with bad reviews even before people have checked out the other modes, deterring them from checking them out. But before I continue with the rest of the information about Black Ops 7 Zombies, speaking of early access, I have the perfect service for you to get cheap games such as Black Ops 7 and more, so stay tuned. Before we go further, I want to let you know that I've partnered with aniba.com, your ultimate gaming marketplace, with over 40,000 digital products from AAA titles to indie gems. Aniba has something for every gamer. PC, PlayStation, Xbox, you name it. Grab hot deals on games, DLCs, and gift cards. Like if you want to get Black Ops 6 today, it's at a steal. It's super easy, just a few clicks away and you are playing. Plus, with secure payments and 24/7 live support, you are in safe hands. It's perfect if you want to buy Call of Duty games or skins, Call of Duty points, etc. for cheap, and you can get cash back too. You can buy all of this stuff for much cheaper than retail prices. And what's more is that right now, Aniba are hosting an additional 10% off discount, valid only in the USA until the 4th of November, 12 noon Central European time. So head to aniba.com using my exclusive link in the description and that you can see on screen to score epic deals and that 10% off today. This code is only working with my affiliate link. If the code is not working, you have to go incognito or delete your cookies. The code is only valid for some select games, but don't worry, there's a ton of other cheap options for you. Hopefully this service will help save you a ton of money on gaming. Now I'll get back into the rest of the video. Okay, so coming back to the other topics of the video, I want to talk about the Black Ops 7 Zombies HUD, because it was revealed the other day, and thanks to Bob for filling in and covering it on the channel for me. Unfortunately, Treyarch released it very late at night, so I just was not available at the time. Let me know in the comments how you've been finding Bob filling in for videos as well. If you are unaware, I'm having him filling in now for some videos, just because I pump out so much content, it becomes very difficult for me, and this way I can get out more content with some assistance. And it's still my thoughts and everything going into the script. Anyways, the HUD is basically the HUD we had already for Black Ops 7, which is just a multiplayer HUD, but it's now been given this purple aesthetic, this dark ether theme, and it definitely looks better. Don't get me wrong, it definitely looks better, and hopefully we get different color variants depending on the map, or you can actually adjust it, but it doesn't fix the problem of the Black Ops 7 Zombies HUD. The problem with the Black Ops 7 Zombies HUD is there is just too much going on, there's too much detail that we do not need to know. For example, why on earth do we need to see a weapon icon on the screen? It's obviously to show the weapon rarity, but there's so many other ways that Treyarch can do this. For example, this concept you can see on screen, adjusting the Black Ops 3 HUD to just have this little color hue on it. That is that. And I'm also extremely worried because Treyarch have only just shown off the default HUD. So this is going to be the default one, but we know there's going to be custom HUD themes as well. And many of them have leaks, such as the Black Ops 3 HUD, and so many more. But Treyarch have not announced this at all, and we're getting close to the release, which has me worried that a lot of these are going to be releasing post-launch, and the Black Ops 3 one might not even be there at launch, because Treyarch did say in the prior intel drop that there's going to be more coming post-launch, and there's rumors that they may potentially be sold as bundles or in the battle passes, and if so, that is absolute insanity when this has been one of the biggest complaints for such a long time, and Treyarch respond to that by trying to siphon us of a way to get money. So yes, the HUD is an improvement, but it's basically just putting a band-aid on the problem. It's a step in the right direction, but the problem with the HUD still persists. The problem is, honestly, just way too many systems in Zombies. That's the problem, because this stuff then needs to be displayed on the HUD. For example, the armor, or for example, the salvage, or for example, the weapon rarity, and then you end up with too much information being shown to you. And I think that's the problem. I think these systems do need to change. I think it was fun moving into the Dark Ether saga, but it's gotten very old and very stale, and that is the problem why the game just looks so cluttered now. I think the HUD is a big problem. You know, there's mods to, for example, play Shadows of Evil with the classic Zombies HUD, and you can see see, it completely ruins the experience. It does not enrich you in the atmosphere of Shadows of Evil as much as it did. Now, obviously, you can turn parts of the HUD off, like the compass, like the minimap. You can have it as a classic theme, but there's still too much information being shown. You are still going to have some necessary things, and things like the health bar, etc. are something that you are going to have to leave on because it does benefit your gameplay, and the game is balanced around having it. Yes, you can do fine without it, but it's certainly going to help. I definitely think there should be an option in the settings to keep the health bars on only for bosses, at least. That would be a step in the right direction. I do think it serves a benefit, but I just think it just needs to go, honestly. I think when you put that option there, you're kind of forced to do it when it does make an improvement, and the game is balanced around it. Now, there is going to be a setting as well to turn off the tutorials, for example, to Pack-a-Punch, but we don't know if that's just going to be to turn them off for the HUD display, or if it's also going to turn off the icon that shows up on the map that you follow. So I'm not sure about that. And the other thing is that people want the ability to turn off the medals as a separate option, as opposed to how it is in Black Ops 6. So far, we don't know if Treyarch are going to do that, but hopefully they've seen the feedback and they do action that. The next thing is that Treyarch have teased the fact that the classic points icons is returning, where they show up next to your character icon. However, this is only going to be in curse mode, so it's going to be the regular points where they show up in the middle of your weapon in the regular mode. I don't understand why though. This should be an option where you can choose which style you want in the settings, regardless of whether you're playing cursed or whether you're playing the regular mode. Now, yes, obviously the regular mode is not going to have the spam of the plus 10 points because that's not how the point system works, but this system still would work fine with the regular style of gameplay. And people seem really excited for these points, but honestly, I'm not. I don't care. I think this is a cool thing, but I don't really care because it just doesn't hit the same as how it did with the old HUD. You put the plus 10 points on the Black Ops 3 HUD side by side to this, and it's just a massive difference. For one, back in the day, the icons were a lot bigger, and you can just see Nikolai, like, why does he look like this? You can just see how bad this HUD is compared to the old one. Putting them side by side, one is so simple, this other one has too much information. And like I said, I think it's a shame that Modern Zombies requires you to have this information because there's just too many systems at once. Back in the day, you didn't need all of this stuff being displayed. You can just have your name, a character icon, your points, and that's that. Whereas now you need a billion freaking things to be shown, which is so unnecessary, but necessary for the actual gameplay style. I really do think that Call of Duty Zombies should go back to minimalism, to a more simple state moving forward after this. I just don't know how they're going to do that, how they're going to move zombies into the next era. And by the way, these HUDs are going to be able to be selected across the modes as well, so you're going to be able to use the same HUDs in multiplayer, the campaign even. So for example, you could rock the Black Ops 3 Zombies HUD presumably in multiplayer, and that's why these HUDs are designed this way, because they're meant to be across games. But again, it's just too much information, I'm afraid, and that's the main problem. Even when we do get the Black Ops 3 HUD, it's not going to hit the same as how it did in Black Ops 3, because it's not the same HUD. It's inspired by it, it's got some similarities, but ultimately the layout is the same, all the crap on screen is still the same. So this is a major improvement, don't get me wrong, but really, like I said, looking back at the mods in Black Ops 3 where you can turn on the modern day HUD, you can just see how it completely ruins the experience. The same with all of the stuff that shows up on screen as well, and honestly, I don't even know if it's good enough to be able to have the option to turn it on and off, because I think so many fans just don't even know that's an option, or they just see gameplay online and they think that's all it is. Most people just go with the default option, so I do wonder if all of the rubbish that's on should be off by default and you have to turn it on otherwise, but obviously it's on by default because casuals need an easier gameplay, and a lot of this stuff does help your game even if it is just marginally, but it all stacks up together. Now, the final thing I want to talk about is regarding the curse mode. Now, it's still unclear what the curse mode actually is. It seems like you can find these relics and then it increases the tier, the difficulty of the gameplay, and there's different tiers that you can play, and some of these relics give you benefits, some disadvantages. So for example, one of the rewards you can actually get is going to be golden armor. Now, there's apparently also going to be a relic according to Alex that will disable ammo boxes, so it's good that that's going to go, but as far as we know, armor is going to be persistent and you can't turn it off. There's no relic according to Treyarch. Now, they might add one post-launch, especially after all of the feedback, but according to Alex, there's also going to be one that simulates the realistic difficulty from Black Ops 4, which, if you're unaware, was one hit and you were dead. A very difficult mode. If true, this surely has absolutely insane rewards, because doing the Easter eggs in this case, especially when the zombies are not going to be adjusted for curse mode, they're going to function the same, which is why there is still armor and not just the classic 4-hit down system. This is going to be ridiculously difficult, so I hope they have good rewards, and it's going to be way more difficult now that there is armor and the zombies hit you a lot faster. There's way more zombies on the map than back in the day, but I don't know how this is going to work if there is armor present as well. Will there just be no armor in this mode, or will you not die in one hit if you have armor, because then armor's going to be basically the crutch of this mode, and it's not going to be like true realistic like in Black Ops 4. I don't know how it's going to work, but that's crazy. I didn't think that there would be ones as hard as this. Like I said, there has to be really, really good rewards for doing this, and honestly, I don't even know how to do guides when the game does actually launch for this. It's going to be that challenging, but it really has me wondering what the other ones are going to potentially be. Obviously, this is a rumor. We don't know for sure just yet. Treyarch have not given us many details on Cursed. It is meant to be a secretive mode. People are feeling disenfranchised with it right now because they were expecting it to be more of a classic mode, and they're disappointed that there's armor and the zombies haven't really been adjusted. There is still the weapon rarity system, for example, and whilst you can disable things like the ammo boxes, does this in turn increase the difficulty of the game? How do you mix and match these things? That bit is a bit unclear right now, because we know there's different tiers depending on what relics you have selected to your game. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video. Lots of information here. Let me know your thoughts on all of it in the comment section down below. As always, Cursed mode is still really unclear. Treyarch said they want it to be secretive, so I understand that. So I'm not sure if we will get any information until launch, to be honest, unless there's any leaks. People are a bit confused on what the mode is. We'll just have to probably wait for launch to get a real good idea, because Treyarch do want to keep it a mystery, which I understand for marketing purposes, but they've kind of already revealed way too much about the rest of the game, so it feels weird that this is the thing they've chosen to be secretive when this is the thing that people want to know about, especially for those fans who want a classic experience, which it's not really going to be. It's got some elements of classic, but it's sort of a mix of classic and modern, and it's also a challenge mode at the same time, so it's very, very different than a classic mode per se, like a lot of us initially thought from the initial leaks. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.